Hey everyone, it's Dawn Clevisall. I am the founder of Stress Free Tax Season. I don't do taxes. What we do is make sure that you have everything in line and ready so that when tax season comes, that process is as stress free as possible. As many of you know, if you've dealt with CPAs and bookkeepers and different things, most of the time the CPA does not have time to worry about or even think about whether or not you did your books right or whether the numbers you give them are correct. Just the way it works. They are, on a mission to get your taxes done. They're assuming that you are giving them the correct information and that they can move forward with that information. So the things that I'm helping you with really behind the scenes, like cash flow management, making sure that your accounting is up to date, things like that, because those are the things that are going to make the process of going into tax season as stress-free as possible. If you know your books are in order and you know that your cash flow is good, then you're not stressed out when that tax bill comes. You know that you have the money set aside to pay that bill. It just makes everything so much easier. So today, that wasn't what I wanted to talk to you about today. So today I wanted to talk to you about my favorite business book of all time. And it's a little bit of what you probably already think, but it's a little bit of not what you already think, right? So my favorite business book of all time is whatever book is moving me forward in that moment. We go through so many different stages with our business. We're not always in the same frame of mind. We're not always working on the same types of project. So my favorite business book of all time are books that move you towards your goal. It is wonderful. It's great to get as much information as possible. But if that information isn't giving you something to act upon, it isn't something that you can read it and then take the action. If it's not encouraging you to take that action, it's not going to be something that moves you towards the goals that you want. So you guys all know that I'm a Profit First professional. Of course, that is one of my favorite. If you're looking for a business book to move you forward that you really want to change the way things are running in your business, that is amazing one. You can see it here in the background. Profit First is amazing, and I can tell you that has completely changed the way that I look at money in my business. But more than that, it's given me the ability to help my clients actually manage that cash flow. For those of you who haven't been with me very long, I started out working for a multi-million-dollar company in Arizona when we lived there, and I was getting really frustrated because they weren't always taking my advice. They weren't always focused on the best way to do things in their accounting, and it just started nagging at me that statistic that you hear that most businesses, I think it was 90%, fail by the time their 5 years have passed. They're not in existence anymore after 5 years. And so that thought kept nagging on me while I'm realizing that even at this level that they were at, they weren't listening to advice. They weren't doing things the way that you should do if you want to grow your business. So I started my business in 2007 doing personal bookkeeping, or doing bookkeeping for businesses on my own. Not personal, but doing their business bookkeeping on my own. But still, I kind of felt like there was a missing piece. I felt like it's great, their books are in order. I can give them the information. They're not reading it. They're not understanding it. They don't want to understand it. There's a little bit of that. You guys might feel that way too. It's kind of been made out to be this thing, this monster, right? Your accounting, that you don't even want to look at it. But it honestly can be really simple. And just understanding, I think asking questions when you don't understand something can really, really give you that insight into your books that you're not going to get if you don't ask the questions. You're just not going to get it. But when I read Profit First, it was about a year and a half, I think a little longer than that ago, where a client had asked me about it. Do you know about Profit First bookkeeping? Do you know what this is? I'm like, well, let me find out for you. So I looked into it a little bit more, and I'm like, well, this is an interesting idea. And then I read the book. And then what I really loved about it, and why I would put it up there with my favorite business books of all time, is that it's the steps to move you forward, right? It's not having someone just tell you, yeah, you should be making money, or yeah, you should have cash flowing in your business. It's telling you how you can do that, how you can actually change the focus of your business from more expenses to actually being a profit-based business instead of that expense-based business. And that's what I really loved about it. And I jumped full in. I am a certified Profit First professional with them because it makes sense. It gives you the action steps you can take so that you know your business is going to grow. Your business is going to be amazing. I hate to even say this, even if your books aren't being done, even if you don't have someone managing your books, managing your cash flow is absolutely the number one priority you should have. Honestly, as an accountant, I can't believe I can say that, but I really can, because I see the difference that it makes in the businesses that are following these techniques. They have money, the profit money that they get every quarter. They have that to maybe get a hotel room when they go to Disneyland, as one of my clients did, to maybe take a little mini vacation or whatever, just to give yourself a reward for running your business. And those are things they didn't have before. Those are things that were unfathomable when they were stuck in that mindset of, I have to dump all this money that came in back into the business so the business can grow. So what we do is we set up the plan so that you focus on the things that you need to pay, which are yourself, really need to pay yourself. The business needs to have a profit. Otherwise, why are we doing this? And also the taxes need to be paid. And I can tell you personally, it was just really frustrating because the years when I did the best were the years when I owed the most. That makes sense. But then it made me kind of feel like, why am I doing this? Is it even worth pushing myself forward and doing all this extra work and creating these new programs and everything if I'm just going to all this money I can't afford to pay? And that's where Profit First comes in. Right now, I can tell you after a year and a half, first off, last year was the first year where even having a sizable tax bill, I was able to pay it directly. And that was like with COVID hitting and all the stuff hitting the fan, right? I was still able to just pay that bill. I'm actually excited to get my taxes done this year, which is not something I normally feel, right? But I'm excited about that because I'm hoping, since this is the first full year that I've been doing Profit First in my business, I'm really hoping that I overestimated my taxes so that I can move that remaining money over to the profit account. So that is my hope, and that probably gonna let you guys know in a couple weeks once that opens up, that I'm able to do that. So again, Profit First, love. You guys know that already. But my favorite business book and your favorite business book should be the one that gives you the steps to move you forward in the direction of solving those problems that you're having in your business so that you can be successful. Now that that's out of the way, this month, for those of you who have hired outside services, those of you who pay rent, things like that, you are obligated this month to create 1099s. So what that means is if you've paid anyone over $600, you need to file with the government to let them know that that person received the money or that business received the money from you. And just because a business is an LLC or sole prop, that doesn't mean that they don't have to pay that. The only ones that are truly exempt are C Corps, the corporations, and the ones that don't have to issue the 1099s. But everyone else has to issue this paperwork, right? So next week, what I'm going to do on the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, and I'll let you know what time, but I'm going to go ahead and be in the Facebook group. I want to talk to you in detail about what does that look like? Do I have that obligation? That'll be the first day, right? Do I have that obligation? How do I get the information I need from my vendors in order to fulfill that obligation, and how you can go about getting those processed? That will be next week, again, the 12th, 13th, and 14th. And I also have 5 openings in my business coaching program. 1 opening for one-on-one coaching. So if you are ready to actually implement your profit plans, or you're ready to get your cash flow in order, definitely reach out to me. You can schedule a discovery call. If you're in the Facebook group, I'm also streaming into my YouTube channel. The Facebook group, if you go into Facebook and just go under groups, you can search Profit First Business Owners. If you go into there, you will see that in the description, I have the discovery calls. All the links are there for you to get started with me. But let me know, because I would love to have you in my group coaching. But if you know that you need that one-on-one, maybe you're making more money and you just need help immediately so that you can tackle some of these challenges that you're having, definitely reach out to me. Those things are options for you that are open right now. Again, next week, $10.99, so that we can get those in order because your deadline is the 31st of this month. So, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, your favorite business book. Why don't you post that for me down below? So I want to know if you're watching on the replay or if you're watching right now, post in this thread. I want to know what is your favorite business book of all time. Take care.